In this video, I'm going to instruct on spare parts usage. Now I'm in the yellow background bolt at the moment, and this is the raw inventory screen, and we don't want to simply reduce our quantity when we use parts from here. This will be automatically reduced when we go to our spare parts usage screen and use a part. So I'm going to work with the 1/2 inch 12 bolt and the 1/4 20 bolts. You see we have 40 of the 1/2 12 and the 30 of the other. So that's what's in inventory now. So I'm going to go over to my parts usage screen, click the new button, and I'll use my part search. There's several ways to search. I'm going to go ahead and use that. Search for bolts, and I'll go ahead and pick this one and this one. Now I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to use 10 of the halves and 1 of the quarters. So I was able to change the grid. Now most of the grids in MateSmart you can't edit directly. This is one of, I think, 2 grids in the entire program. So it was necessary in this case to do that. So if you need to change the quantity, it's always going to default to 1. If you put an invalid quantity, it won't accept it. Okay, so that's what I want to use on this particular work order. Click Use, and these parts are listed down here in this small grid, and then I click Save, and it added 2 records, 1 for each part. Okay, so let's go back and see how it affected our raw inventory. Okay, well that's correct, because this was at 40 and we used 10, now it's at 30. This was at 30, now it's at 29 because we used 1. So we can see that it properly decremented the inventory values. What if we have a case where a particular maintenance technician gets out there to the job and he checked out 10 of these, but he realizes, well, his associate already checked out 6, so all he really needed was 4. So he needs to return them. Well, he can come back and just select the row and change the quantity used to 4. Click Save, and when we go back, we'll see the program properly added the 6 back. So the quantities are always managed automatically in the yellow bolt screen. As far as incrementing these quantities, that's done when we acquire and receive parts through purchasing and receiving. This will be covered in another video. Okay, let's go back to our parts usage screen. So what else can we do here? Well, we already looked at filtering, so we realized we can filter on actually 9 different fields. This screen also lends itself to barcode capability, and this is a pretty common use of barcodes, is to check parts out of inventory. To turn on the barcode, we click the barcode icon, and then we simply scan what we need, and it picks it up and puts it in here for us. Okay, this uses a code 39 font barcode scanner, which is universal in a lot of maintenance operations. Okay, there's a few different ways to report here, and we don't have much data, so we're not going to get much of a report, but there are a few canned reports here on this screen. File, print, report. Okay, we can look up inventory used by who, by why, by vendor, by account, and so on. I'll go by why. And what we just have the 1, so again, not a whole lot there, but we had another record in the system already that was used on a PM. So we can look at that and get a report on that, and it summarizes it. Okay, so we've learned how to manually use a part. How do we automatically use a part? Well, let's get into that now. Suppose we want to automatically use a part on a PM that we have. For example, every time we perform a particular task, we're going to use a part. The way you do this is you go into the Options, Parts Usage, Manage Parts Usage Links. You'll get another screen pop up, and we'll populate a few of these fields. We only really need to do this once. and we'll pick our equipment, and we'll pick task. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have the right data in here to do this, but let's give it a try. And we'll do our search. And let's see if, I don't think we have any chain in here because we just started populating this. Well, we'll go ahead and put something else. We'll just do the bolt. We know we have bolts. Alright, so we'll just say that every time we perform this particular task, we're going to use a 1/4 or 1/2 inch by 12 stainless bolt. And how many? Well, we'll use, say, 2. Okay, so check replace master link on the 7-day interval. On this piece of equipment, we're always going to use 2 of these bolts. Okay, so I'll exit this, and I realize that doesn't really match up with what you'd probably really do if you're checking a master link, but hopefully you get the idea. So we'll come in here and we'll pick that task, and we will close it out. And when we close it, a little screen pops up and shows us that we did indeed use 2. We needed 2. There was no shortage, and we have 98 left. Okay, so how is this reflected on the inventory parts usage screen? Because that was automatically used. Well, there it is. Okay, it did add it. So it added it to the screen, so we can always get back, even when things are automatically used, and undo the usage or modify it. Alright, so that is essentially the basics of parts usage, both manually and automatically.